You know, our son reminds me of this every day, you know, with just these examples we gave about getting home from school instantly. Hey, I want to go out and play. And then followed by just hysterically laughing.
Yeah.
You know, and so like every day I look at him and I'm like, oh man, that's cool. But you know, I was thinking about this, Michelle, and I'm like, man, like when I get off work, I should just be excited to come home and have fun. Like I get to do life with my spouse. I get to do life with you. This is Ryan and Michelle, and welcome to the Celebrate MarriageCast, where we hope to restore and reclaim godly marriages through honest and real conversations.
Welcome to our show. Welcome to episode 134, and we are in the middle of April, which is crazy. Here we go.
Yeah.
Spring.
Absolutely. Well, kind of, Michelle.
Yeah.
We don't really have spring here.
Right. It's a little confusing.
It's very confusing. Michelle, something exciting has happened in our household.
Yes.
We finally, people got new cell phones.
Can we tell them what we had until today?
Yeah. Go ahead, Michelle.
We have the... So embarrassing.
No.
We have the iPhone SE second edition. Prior to that, we had the first edition for a few years.
Yeah. So, Michelle, this brought up an interesting question for me.
I think our phones are maybe 6 years old. We got them. I think they were refurbished.
So you said that I think you told me at one point that they had come out in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember when we got them, but it doesn't matter. So 2020, all right, 6 years ago, I was thinking about this, like, what is that in like iPhone years?
Oh, sure.
So like, you know, like humans, it's just human years, right? Like one equals one. You know, there's dog years.
Right.
Which is one for what, 3 or 4?
7. It's one for 7.
7 years?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Sorry.
Yeah. Our dog and I are the same age right now. Anyways, Ryan, I hate to burst your bubble, but I think they release a new phone every year. So I think it's just 1 year for each phone. But I get what you're saying in that as each new releases come out, ours seem super antiquated, right? When we show people, we still have that button on there. I was doing stage announcements a couple weekends ago. My phone locked up. I had my mic in one hand and my phone in the other.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it to unlock. I had to switch my mic because most people's phones do the face thing, which...
Oh, yeah.
So that's how old they are. So it does seem like it's not just 6 years. It's like, you're right, maybe double.
You know what here's my take. This is my hot take.
Okay, hit us with it.
I feel like 1 year equals 20 years.
For technology?
Yeah.
Maybe, okay.
So like...
You think our phones are 120 years old?
I think they're between
outdated?
100 and 120 right now. Okay. They kind of work that way, I think.
You're getting a 15, and because of my job, we are making the investment to get a 17 for me.
Yeah.
With multiple
You're
cameras.
Getting a baby. A brand new baby.
It's almost a year old.
Oh, never mind.
But it has 3 cameras. Okay, right. But
anyway,
I'm sure that our listeners are super excited for us. That is great, Ryan.
I know.
You guys can be so happy for us in the modern age.
I'm very excited about it, although I don't know if I'll know how to work it, but I'll figure it out.
Send help.
Yes. All right, Michelle.
We won't have to use a button, though.
Yes.
The thumb button.
You know, I just talked to somebody today that wishes they had a button. So, I don't know. Who knows? Exciting times for the O'Connors. We do have a great show for you guys today. It was inspired by events from this past weekend. Yeah, Michelle, this past weekend, we were at a baptism for dear friends of ours. Their daughter, she had turned 1 this past the past week. And at a church that celebrates or practices infant baptism. We here at Celebrate, we do adult baptism, but this was infant baptism. So, yes. And you were the godmother, which is... I am. Not were. Yeah. You are. Yes. Yes. Huge honor. Absolutely. So, Michelle... We were sitting there in the service, and I'm just watching her. She's one. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching during the worship, and she is just like bopping around, like clapping hands, raising her hands in the air, like just like praising. And, you know, I was just in awe of watching this like 1-year-old praise the Lord. Mm. Now, I know people would probably say, oh, she was just mirroring what she was seeing. But like, man, as I was watching her, it was just like she was the happiest person in the world. You know, that expression of like, dance how you would if no one was looking.
Sure.
I was just watching her and just this is amazing.
Yeah. There was one point where she was even holding a cross, as she was getting baptized, she grabbed her dad's cross necklace.
Yeah.
So it was super cute, but also super kind of inspiring too. So,
absolutely.
Evelyn, good job, Evelyn.
Yeah. This whole time I was thinking of, as I was watching her, I was thinking of the scripture from Matthew 18:3. It says, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven."
Yeah, I think, it's interesting. You had said this, Ryan, that as we get older, that we are more concerned about what people around us are thinking, right? So even with that worship example, when we're in church, how many times do people probably think, well, I don't know if I want to raise my hands in praise or worship because what are the people behind me thinking? Well, they're probably thinking about the lyrics of the song, and in the moment, they're probably not actually thinking about what you're doing. Or if you do raise your hand, they're probably not thinking anything of it. They're not judging you one way or the other. So I think we, over time, we become more aware and maybe sensitive to that. But I love the example of Evelyn this weekend. And, she was in the front row, so I don't even know that she was watching other people. She was just feeling it. Now, great example.
Two things, Michelle, that really jumped out at me, from the scripture. And I'm just going to read the first part again. "Truly, I tell you, unless you change and become like little children." I think there was two things that just really jumped out at me that I really think we can learn from this passage that will drastically change our relationship.
And that's our show today. So 2 points.
Yeah.
Of having this childlike faith.
Yeah. And Michelle, it kind of revolves around most children do two things, I think, really well.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a question here, Michelle. What does our son do the minute he gets home from school, errands, really anything?
Yeah, that is super easy for me to answer. He flies through the house. He ditches his stuff, flies through the house and says, "I'm going outside to play." Slam.
Exactly.
And then he's out. By the time I'm even saying, "Have fun."
Yeah.
He's gone.
One of the things that kids do amazing is play. There's this sense of fun. And really, as I look at this, this idea of fun, this idea of play, so many marriages, I think, are lacking this today. And it's I'm sitting here thinking of this, of when we were in school, and part of it, we ask our son all the time, what was your favorite thing? Recess. He gets to school early, so that he can have recess before school. And I was just thinking of this, man, what if we took a 20-minute recess time, with our spouse each day? Just, hey, let's go outside. Let's have fun. Let's just have fun, run around, whatever. Let's incorporate some play, of just having just this fun time together,
I love that, Ryan. And I think we do that well.
Yeah.
Would you say we do that well?
I would say so.
I'm just thinking of some examples right now as you're talking. We just the other night we were doing a basketball shooting competition inside of our house. Our son was involved too, but we had this basket and he had a Nerf ball and we were playing horse inside of our house. And it was super fun. And we were just laughing. I feel like it maybe been kind of a stressful day, and just is a great way to reset as a family and have fun and play. And I really enjoyed doing that with you. As a couple, we have done our pickleball league. We'll also go and do impromptu pickleball, just games at the courts. Is that what they're called? Courts?
Yeah.
Down the road from us.
Yeah.
And I think that sense of just fun and just getting out there and doing something active. I feel like we do impromptu dance parties at our house. We've been, like I said, the peg or horse with the Nerf basketball has been super fun. It's just asking yourself, how can you turn something mundane into fun? I think we've even shared that when we're doing laundry, sometimes we'll pull open a drawer and try to shoot the socks into the drawer, and we'll have competitions between the two of us. They'll say, "Ready, go." And then it's throwing these socks across our room into our drawers. What examples can you think of, Ryan?
Well, Michelle, I love that idea of thinking through, like, what are those mundane things you do every day that you could turn into fun, that you could turn into play. I think a lot of, part of like, we have music playing like at our house pretty much all the time. It is. It's like we have a soundtrack. Yeah. The O'Connors have a movie soundtrack to our lives. I love it. I think of that, of a lot of just like, even like making dinner will turn into a sing-along. Sure. Mostly me probably singing along. I sing all the time. Or car rides, those things that you're doing anyway, like that you can just turn this into play. Sure. You can turn it into, hey, we're driving across town. Let's crank the radio up. Or, we like to play a song game of just cycling through the radio and guessing who the artist is. Right. And essentially how this works is you hit the scan button, or you cover up the display and then you hit the scan forward. And it's who can guess either the song title or the artist first. Yeah. Now this game is a little skewed because I feel like our children know the more like recent songs. Some of them, they don't listen to a ton of that stuff. I feel like I have everyone beat when it comes to rock music because I used to be a rock radio DJ. You're definitely country. Our daughter's country. But it's really fun. You're really fun. Good. You're really good at it. And I will say, I don't know if I've ever been beaten. No, I don't. You're really good. You know all genres. I have a big music collection. But that's a great example of turning something into the mundane drive across town into something fun where you just get laughing and you can kind of pull up some memories. Oh, I remember when that band, hey, I saw that band in concert, whatever. It's just fun. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Absolutely. So, Michelle, just to recap, like how can you incorporate play? How can you incorporate fun back into your marriage? Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing, Michelle, that from going back to this passage, again, I'm going to read it. Matthew 18:3 says, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children." The other thing that I think children are really good at is laughing. Yeah. That's great. When our son, makes the mad dash through the house and says, "I'm going out to play," generally it's followed by, minutes later of just hearing shrieks and laughter coming from our backyard. He's got two great friends that 3 great friends that live in the neighborhood. And there are literally times I have to go out back because all I hear is like screaming. And I have to go out back. I'm like, "Hey, are you guys okay?" And they're just laughing. They're like, "Yeah, we're good. We're just whatever doing this game." Yeah, they're just having like literally the best time ever. I love that, Ryan. I echo that sentiment. There have been times where I've had to do that, especially in the spring when the windows are open. It's you hear it all, and then it's like, wait, are they okay? I think I've turned to you before and said, are they okay? Are they laughing or are they crying? I can't tell. But they're having fun, just that youthful, childlike, unhindered laughter. And I think that's great inspiration for us to do with our spouse. Find a way to laugh with your spouse every day. Maybe it's, we have this dashboard that we use for one of our technology plugins at work, and they have a joke of the day. So maybe it's messaging your spouse that, or if you find something funny. I just showed you a social media post. We're recording this on April Fool's Day, and one of our vendors had this really funny April Fool's post about just different, or distributors, I should say, had this post about different colors of HVAC units that you could get. Oh. Or AC units. And I thought that was really funny that it was like custom colors, camo, silver, rose gold, sparkly pink. And I showed you, I was like, look how funny this is. But find things, there's humor everywhere around. And we've given this advice before, but don't make fun of people or your spouse, but find things that just bring joy and laughter. I feel like you're really good at it. You've shared that you will find like funny dog videos, or, there's just so much content out there. There's so much stuff. Certainly don't let it like suck up your time, but there are things to laugh about, or just funny situations where you can laugh at yourself
about situations, it truly is life-giving to your marriage.
Absolutely.
So, Ryan, I'm going to read this statistic. According to the Mayo Clinic, laughing has many positive side effects. So 1, it stimulates organs. Seems pretty vital.
Yes.
It activates and relieves your stress response. I mean, I guess that's true, right? If you're laughing, you can't be as stressed. It kind of lightens your load. It soothes tension. It improves your immune system. That is wild to me. I feel like I've heard that before. But I bet like I think the opposite is true. When people are stressed, they get sick more often. Yeah. So I guess on the opposite side, if you're laughing, you're probably not as stressed. So therefore, it improves your immune system.
Yeah.
It relieves pain.
Interesting.
I don't know the science behind that. If your brain is just preoccupied with the laughter that you can't think about, if you have a headache or whatever, maybe.
I would guess. I'm not a scientist. Let me just make this disclaimer.
But you play one on TV. Isn't that the joke? Like, I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. Yes, you're not a scientist, but.
I would imagine it releases like a chemical into your brain.
Yeah.
That, I should have looked this up.
No, I feel like.
That actually would help block the pain receptor.
I feel like myself and every other listener is probably agreeing with you right now.
Yeah. So, I don't know what it is.
Don't take our scientific advice.
I'm not a scientist.
Right.
Or a doctor.
But you play one on the podcast. Okay.
Right.
It increases overall personal satisfaction. That makes sense. And then it improves overall mood. So that is according to the Mayo Clinic. So not only will it improve your marriage to incorporate laughter, childlike laughter, but it will improve your health.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Michelle, I'm going to read, apparently God knew this before Mayo Clinic, because he said it in Proverbs 17:22, a cheerful heart is good medicine.
I love that.
Yeah. So look, I know that being an adult is serious business, right?
Yeah. It's funny how you said that.
I know, but it's so true, right? But serious business. But I think we can learn a lot from children when it comes to our marriages, right? We need to have fun with our spouses. Our son reminds me of this every day, with just these examples we gave about getting home from school instantly. Hey, I want to go out and play. And then followed by just hysterically laughing.
Yeah.
And so like every day I look at him and I'm like, oh man, that's cool. But I was thinking about this, Michelle, and I'm like, man, like when I get off work, I should just be excited to come home and have fun. Like I get to do life with my spouse. I get to do life with you.
You get the gift of that evening.
Absolutely. And I'm just sitting here like, man, like that childlike just view of the world of like, man, I should just get home and like, take off my, okay, hold on. Okay, I change out of my work clothes. Sorry about that.
And you know what, Ryan? We cannot edit because the show is on laughter. That's got to stay.
It's just gold right there. Change out of my work clothes into just regular clothes because I have to change. Oh boy. Hey, but like it should create this, right? Of like
Ryan is not in our house like cooking dinner unclothed, you guys. Like we are clothed, we're decent, we are modest.
Yeah. Right.
But changing, like come in, throw down your work bag. Hey, I'm going to play. Like here we are, family. Yeah. We're here to play. Yeah. Like let's enter the evening with that youthful play and laughter. Thank you for that joke, Ryan.
A work bag is much better words. I don't have a work bag.
I have a work bag.
You have a work bag.
Right, throw it to the side.
That's a much better example.
I love it.
Yeah, look, life is stressful, right? But I think God gives us this built-in remedy in fun and laughter. God created it. Clearly, medicine backs it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, Ryan. And you know what? I was just thinking when you were reading some of this and you were saying your part, I'm really proud of you for writing these shows. In this world of AI, I want you guys to know that Ryan writes content. Yeah. Like when you're hearing it and you're thinking, wow, that's really good. I bet they whatever had chat. No, Ryan wrote this. So I just want to give you
thanks,
my
Michelle.
human husband credit for this show.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, you have a non-mystery question because we're out of mystery questions, but you wrote one. So cue the song, Patrick.
Mystery question time, Michelle.
That's not a mystery. It's a mystery to me.
Yeah. In the spirit of play and fun and laughter, what is a game that you would like to learn how to play?
Well, we love board games at our house. And I think anytime I can learn a new board game that works its way into being a favorite is super fun. For years and years, we were big Ticket to Ride fans.
Oh, great game.
I feel like we tried to get into that. Settlers of, is it Catan or Catan? I don't know. The real diehards would correct me on how to say it, but you know what game I'm talking about. We tried to get into it. I never could. We've had a few others, Codenames, Chameleon, How Did You Know That? Great Minds Think Alike. Just any new game. So I think maybe that's what we need to do is find a new game or board game that our family can, or you and I can get hooked on. Because those are super fun. And it becomes instead of just doing your typical evening stuff, if you get a good game in the rotation, then it's like, hey, let's actually play Uno, or let's, whatever. And we'll have a stack of them by our dinner table or our dining room table. So I think for me, it's finding a new board game. Nice. Let us know if you have suggestions.
Yeah, anybody has a suggestion, drop it in the comments.
That'd be great.
I love board games. Yeah. Michelle, I'm going to give you 4 answers.
Cricket.
I've shared 2 already. Instantly, I think of sports.
Yeah.
I've shared
You're good
before.
At every sport.
I've shared before that I really want to learn how to play cricket and lacrosse.
Yep.
The other sport that actually I'm fascinated by is handball. I would love to play.
You don't have a racket? Just
No.
hands?
It's sort of like a basketball / soccer / hockey type.
Do you use your hands though too?
Yeah.
Like football or no?
Yeah, you don't dribble. It's just like you throw the ball to each other and then you try to shoot on a soccer type goal.
Sounds like the ball would be everywhere. It would be super chaotic. Yeah. I don't think I could keep up.
Yeah.
You're fascinated by it.
I am. Okay. It looks super fun.
So lacrosse, cricket.
Yeah.
Handball.
Yeah. I'm going to throw you a curveball here only because I've never played. And every time I ever hear somebody talk about this, it sounds kind of fun.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
I actually thought you were going to say curling, but I don't think, based on how you're setting this up, I don't think it's that. Is it rugby?
No. I feel
too aggressive.
I would
You'd get hurt.
I would get hurt probably the day that I played.
What is it?
I actually really want to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Every time I've ever heard somebody talk about it, it kind of makes me want to play.
I think they call it D&D.
D&D, right.
That's what the crowd says, yeah.
Yeah.
My brother grew up playing that.
I just we were somewhere and somebody was talking about oh yeah, we had an all day get together and it was we had food and snacks and all this stuff and it was super fun and I was kind of I like food and snacks and
can
having
people
fun.
Break into that or is it diehards?
I have no idea. I've never even seen it before. So I have no idea.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll get an invite for you to go play some D&D.
Maybe. So there you go.
Is it strategy?
I have no idea. All
it's not
I know,
scary, right?
I don't think so. I think it's sort of a strategy type game.
Sure. With cards.
Maybe kind of Risk almost.
Okay.
You know what? I better not speak because I have no idea and I don't want to offend people that are real serious about it. I just think it sounds like fun.
We've already offended our NASCAR followers. If you're not familiar with that, go back 2 weeks go back 2 weeks to Green Flags and you can catch up on that show. It was a great show. That top tier content. But you guys, thank you for joining us today. And that's great. Why don't you ask your spouse as well? Ask them that mystery question. What game would you like to learn how to play?
Yeah.
And for our listeners, thank you for joining us today on the Celebrate MarriageCast. We have resources at Celebrate.church/marriage. You can find information about Celebrate at Celebrate.church, and you can find us on Instagram at Celebrate MarriageCast. We hope you have a great rest of your week.
Have a great week.